Welcome to Thank God You're Not My Child. Remember, it's a comedy podcast where we're going to talk about whatever I want to. Yeah, that's how it works. So today we're going to talk about doggies. I know, it's weird because it's Thank God You're Not My Child. But you could put anything behind that. Thank God you're not my dog. Thank God you're not my cat. Thank God you're not my mom. Thank God you're not my dad. You know what? It's a comedy podcast, so let's just go with it. Because dogs are one of the probably 5 hot topic on daycares is a lot of people don't want animals with their dogs in a daycare, and I get that. But I was licensed for 10 kids. It was my daycare. And I had dogs in my daycare. From the first time I opened in, I think, 99 in Missouri, right around 2000, I adopted one. And that one, our first one, we just moved to Missouri, and we were needing to fish, because we set a new tank up because the kids didn't have a pet. And they always had pets because at the time we didn't have a dog. So we went to the pet store. And you know those cute little people that are there for you to adopt the dogs? Yeah, they were there. And there was this little dog, and he was so skinny, and he comes up, and he's in this cage, so scared. You know how they are. It's almost like before they go in there, they're in, normally they're in like a school bus or something, and it's like they open the door and say, okay, people, you gotta look dead. You gotta look skinny. You gotta look like you're harming people. You gotta look like this because these people need you. Make a tear in the corner of your eyes. Make a sad face. Get those puppy dog eyes out because they need you to have them and want them. You got that tear out? Hey, little airborne, you're not eating. You got that tear out because this lady walking up looks like you might like her. That's what I think went on right before I walked up. Yeah, that's what it was. And he comes up and he lets me pet him. And this cute little girl comes up and goes, oh my goodness, I can't believe he's letting you touch him. Yeah, see? Hook. You see the hook? You see the fixing to reel me up there. You see it? Yeah, he hasn't eaten in 3 days because he's just so sad. Yeah, you see. Yeah, it was hooked. It was hooked. About the time she walked over with a little bit of food and said, may I put this food in your hand? That dog was already mine. You know it. Once she put that food in my hand, there was like a little hook that she just hooked me. And the dog, his name was Airborne. They named him Airborne because nobody could ever hold him because he would jump out of their arms. See? Airborne. Yeah, I know. It's kind of cool, isn't it? He ate it. So she hook, line, sinkered me and reeled me in because Airborne was officially ours. Daycare dog. First dog. He didn't really care for the kids. He liked watching them. I don't think one daycare kid touched him. I was the only one he would let pick up that wouldn't run out. So it was a great dog. He never touched a kid. We had a doggy door. It was a great dog. Then we moved on to retired greyhounds. My mother-in-law, Judy, always wanted a dog, and that was what she got when my father-in-law passed away in about the same time, 2000, yeah, back there. And they were so cool. And so when my ex-husband said, oh, I think we should get one too. We did. And it was a black one. Her name was Sasha. And I had a daycare, but we were, my mother-in-law's, her greyhound went to work with them because they had a business on the property. And so that's what not Crystal, she's the second one. Sasha was going to go to work with him, but Sasha loved the kids. So she didn't always go to work. I have pictures of kids crawling over her. She liked the kids, never had to worry about them whatsoever. So now our second greyhound, Crystal, after Sasha passed away from cancer, we got another one, and she didn't like the kids from the get-go. She didn't like them. Didn't like them at all. They went to work. She wasn't going to hurt them, but this is what they did. They're so excited, these little kids, to see a dog that they chase after the dog. So this is what poor Crystal heard whenever they seen her. Crystal, 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 Crystal. It's kind of like when your kid's out the bathroom door, mom, 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 mom. You know that feeling. Crystal did not want to be with the kids. So therefore, she didn't need to be with the kids. See, and that is the key. You need to know if your dog isn't going to handle kids well, don't put them in the daycare. Be smart about it. Every time I would get a puppy, the greyhounds were different. Those 3 dogs were adopted. They were different. You have to, when you adopt a dog and you don't know how they are trained, you need to look. You need to know. But when you have a puppy, my first puppy, Jasper, was so little. He was a Dachshund or Dachshund. Is it Dachshund? Anyway, he's a weenie dog. You know what they are. He's a weenie dog. And he was so little. He had this little nip, and he only had one eye. We should have named him, instead of Jasper, we should have named him One Eye Willie, if you know what I mean. I missed the mark on that one, but we sure did love our Jasper. And he had his own baby bed, the crib, the oldest one that I had in daycare. Once I use it for a dog, it was gone. It's trash. But because he was so little, kids could have walked on him and killed him, but he grew up listening to the noise, grew up listening to them dance, grew up listening to them read to him. So when he got big enough to be out, he thought he was just one of the kids. And I just made a TikTok of all of the pictures of the dogs I found. I'm going to have to go into the picture box before you took pictures on your phone. When you printed them out. Yeah, I have a whole lot more of the greyhounds at that time, but they're stinking cool too. So then Jasper, actually, he ended up with cancer too, and we had to put him down about a month after Crystal. Yeah, that also is something that you can help with when you have pets, dogs or whatever, in a daycare. It's very important for the kids to have a loss. They need to know disappointment, and they need to know a loss. And when Jasper and Crystal had cancer and got sick, and as I would tell the kids, they went to heaven. They learned the loss, and that you can still love someone even when they're gone, and still talk about them and love them. It's a good way. Good way. Yes, because, disappointment is rough. And so walking through, when Jasper left, it was sad. When Crystal did, it was sad too, because we didn't get to play with her often. But they knew when Crystal was in the house, they loved her. They loved to give her treats. So, so disappointment, that's one thing. And, but when you have dogs, there's a few things you can do with dogs that you can't do with kids. The first one is, you can leave dogs alone. Did you know that? Now, I do understand if you're going away for a week cruise or something like I like to do all the time, although I should be on a cruise this week, but my parents are, my mom is, my sister is, my cousins are, my brother-in-law is, I have friends that are, I have daycare parents that are, but yet I'm getting married this year in Alaska in September, so I had to skip it. It's okay. Okay, anyway, we're talking about a cruise. See, I got offset. Did you see how fast I got offset? If you're going to be gone for a long time, you're going to have to find someone to take care of your dog. But if you want to go out to the movies and stuff, and you want to go have a dinner, and you maybe want to take a whole day trip, did you know you can legally leave your dogs alone? You ain't got to have a daycare. You ain't got to have a daycare. You ain't got to have a babysitter like you. I was never a babysitter. I did not sit down on babies. Okay, maybe once I may have sat on a baby on accident, maybe not a baby, but maybe I sat on like 3 and 4 year olds for the fun of it because they thought it was funny. But I didn't put all my weight down. But I'm still not a babysitter, if you know what I mean. So then we went from Jasper, the cute little dog that let the kids tie on. Then my son had a dog, Agnes, and she's actually, if you follow me on Instagram, Agnes is actually living up at the mountain with me now. She's about 15, and she's living her best life with cataracts that She can still see, but she has a heart murmur, and they're not sure how long she's going to last. But that girl is living her best life up on the mountain with me. So, but she loved those kids. She let the kids, they could tie bandanas on her hair, and she would not stop them. She loves everybody. And those kids, ooh, they love their some Agnes. Yeah. So, but then after we had Jasper and Crystal, they had cancer and had to be put down within a month of each other. I wasn't going to get another dog because the loss sometimes can be so much. But and then a daycare parent kept walking in with this stupid little dog, a stupid little puppy. And this cute little puppy had like this little black heart on her. She still does. And, oh, that's when Lucy came in. Lucy was the last dog that I got. And she's about 5 now. And she lives at the mountain too. My future mother-in-law stole her. And if you know how that works, I had the broken leg in March and spent a week here with Lucy. And instead of taking her back, because I was having to close daycare and I was retiring because of the broken leg, just up in a year, you know what I mean, plans had changed. I left Lucy on the mountain for 1 week. And when I came back, I was nothing to her. 1 week is all it took. So if that tells you my new mother-in-law just how special she is, my dog that didn't want me to go anywhere without her, and I think she went and spent the night with one daycare parent once. She loved that parent. Yes, Janine, you was her other mother, if you know what I mean. Yeah, she loved you. But can just switch in 1 week. You know, she has not slept in our place, and we have a doggy door, since I've moved there. I'm shocked because she thought I walked on water. And now, just boom, boom, you're with someone else? Yeah. Okay, I kind of like Ruby too. God's blessed me with 2 wonderful women to be my mother-in-laws. And, you know, if your dog likes her more than you, what does that say? Oh, what does that say? Okay, Lucy still loves me. She'll take a nap with me, or she has to go down to the creek. We have 32 acres, and she has to. When she hears that 4-wheeler or whatever start, she's, oh, they all want to go down to the creek. Let's go, we're going. It doesn't matter. I walk on water when the 4-wheeler's going. So, yeah. So, I have a friend in Iowa. I think I talked about her maybe on the first episode. It might have been. But she opened a big place the first of the year. I've only started this podcast last May, maybe June. And she just opened up her center, and I did her a shout out up there. Within 6 months, her large daycare is officially full. And if you've got a daycare, you know that this is really good for the first 6 months. But when she had a home daycare forever and a day, she had 3 golden doodles, is it? I have 1 golden doodle here that's outside. He's not too happy I'm in here yet. You might hear a little on the door because I'm having to do the traveling podcast today because we've been away from the mountain for more than a week and I'm ready to get home. Anyway, she had 3 golden doodles. And those golden doodles, they were in that daycare. And you know, those kids love those golden doodles. And those golden doodles love those kids. And it was almost like they were coming to see the dogs. And you know, that's what my place was like. When I have some amazing pictures and video of all the dogs waiting at the door for the kids to come. Those dogs, they knew when daycare was open. They sitting there at the door waiting for their friends. Your dogs will think the people are coming to see them. And that is where friendship starts. You know what I mean? I wanted those kids to be in love with my pets just as much as I was. Because, you know, I love my kids. I have, if you remember, I have a perfect kids. Perfect Emily and perfect Justin. Yes, they are perfect because they're mine. You know, perfect people aren't perfect, but they're perfectly mine. Yeah, yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. But, that's how it works, if you know what I mean. Yeah. I think I've already told you more than I already know. Yeah. I think I've told you more than I know. So, until next time, thank God you're not my child. Thank God you're not my child. Yes. Remember, it's a comedy podcast. And this is a special word from the Queen of the Crazy House. Season 2 on my podcast is going to be a little more me, a little more crazy, and a little more what the hell is going on in this world with parents or people. You know what I mean? Those moments that make you go, what the fuckaroo is happening? Yes, you know what I'm talking about. Season 2 of Thank God You're Not My Child. Yes, next week. Thank God You're Not My Child.